Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. I'm going to make a fool of myself today, so that's going to be really good. But for those of you that maybe haven't been here a little bit, we are building a big trivia game for Alexa. So we can do all sorts of things. There's 20 different categories. There's hundreds and hundreds of questions. You can create a custom game where in your game you're able to create like a 10-question quiz. It randomly picks categories for you and takes you through those 10 questions. Stephen Vore says, in 1881, I took my first computer class, programming in APL. When I saw this morning's topic, adding APL to this skill, I just had to stop in. Well, unfortunately, Stephen, it's not the same APL. The APL that we're going to be using today is Alexa Presentation Language. And it's a way to provide visuals to voice experiences. And so you can see, like on the devices I have here behind me, some of them have screens on them. APL is a way for me to create a visual interface with animations and interactivity and buttons and all sorts of stuff. Now, we'll see how far I can actually get in that because I am terrible at it. And that was the reference in my little notification there, is that we're going to be working on that kind of APL. So Alexa Presentation Language is the APL we'll be using. So a couple of things.
I don't know that one.
I know, I don't either. I don't know it at all. I'm very, very bad at it. And we're going to get into that here in just a minute. But there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I wasn't on stream yesterday. Had a last-minute cancellation, just had too much going on. There is a lot going on, actually. I have Alexa and Friends episode coming up right after this on the Amazon Alexa channel here on Twitch. It's also on YouTube, and you're welcome to tune in either place. But I'm going to interview somebody from the Alexa Music Organization, and we're going to talk about what they're doing and what they're working on and where they see the future of music going with Alexa. I am recording a thing we call an Alexa Tech Talk later today that's going to be broadcast next week, and it's all about multi-value slots. So I'm going to spend a bunch of time talking about how we capture multiple values from a user when they speak. And so I'm putting all of that stuff together. That's next Thursday. And then one of the other things that I mentioned, one of the reasons, at least one of the reasons I thought that I was canceling yesterday, was that I got some new equipment for the office, for this studio here, and I wanted to put it to good use. And so let's talk about that a little bit. So I want to bring this up here on the screen because I'm very excited about where this is going to take us. Right now, I just noticed I don't have I do have the chatbot running. Okay, we do have the chatbot running. That's always good. So as people participate in chat, maybe we'll see a few sound effects pop in. If you want to try any of the sound effects, you can just say !commands in the chat, and it'll give you a whole list of things that you can do. But in the meantime, the new piece of equipment that I purchased is a soundboard. And I am super excited about this. Let me see if I can bring it up here on the screen real quick. Open orders. Come on, come on, come on. No, it's not open. It's not an open order. I already got it. It's already sitting here next to me. So let's do this and that. And this is what we're talking about, this soundboard. So this is going to give me a whole bunch of other power in what we do here in the studio when we think about how we can add a lot of extra capabilities and sounds and mixing together. This is something that I haven't been able to do before. So you guys may notice that when we have sound effects play on the show, that they're actually playing through my speakers and you're just hearing them through the microphone. I want to fix that. And so that's one of the ways that we're going to do that is by using this soundboard. You can see that there's sliders for a bunch of different inputs. So I'll have input from my computer coming in, from my microphone, potentially even from my cell phone if I want to add that. And then we have those 8 colorful buttons on the right-hand side. Those are a very quick trigger way for me to play specific sound effects or audio files or intros or outros or whatever. So I'm very excited to start using this. But as you know, when you buy a new piece of hardware like this, there's a bunch of other stuff that you needed that you didn't realize. And so I have a bunch of cables now. But it turns out that my microphone wasn't compatible with this. This device uses XLR inputs. You can see those right here. And those XLR inputs are not USB inputs. And it turns out that my digital microphone that I have, which is very, very nice. I can pull it here in front of the camera. There it is. It's called the Rode Podcaster. It's a very good microphone and sounds very good. I really like how it works. But I bought its sister device, the Rode ProCat? No, the ProCat. Yeah, the Procaster maybe. And that is an XLR microphone. And so we're going to run that XLR right into this soundboard and then run this soundboard as an audio input into my PC. And then we'll use that mixed audio to feed everything else out. So that means that we'll be able to do things like hear Alexa very clearly when we're doing tests. We'll be able to hear the microphone. We'll be able to add sound effects. All of this stuff is going to be nicely mixed together with different volume levels and all that. So very excited to put this thing to use. But I thought I was going to be setting a bunch of this up yesterday, only to find out that, in fact, I need a different microphone. And I ordered a stand because I don't have enough room on the desk for it. So there's going to be a stand that sits next to me that has the soundboard on it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to have to recap what's going on with all of the setup in this office because it's getting ridiculous. 2 monitors, cameras, microphones. Now we have a mixing board. I'm ready to start my own TV channel. Let's do it. Anyway, enough about that. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that, like, when I was talking about new hardware, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, XLR. That's where my microphone action is going to go. If I wanted to bring guests in here, which if we can ever get together with people again, maybe we could do that. I can actually run 4 concurrent microphones off the same system. So I could bring people in. We could do a podcast interview, whatever. And then you have monitors here. This is how I'm going to be able to monitor, using my headphones and stuff like that are sitting here. Oh, you guys can't see that. I was talking about these different inputs. So anyway, I'm very excited about this device. I think it's going to give us a lot of interesting control and power. But yeah, that's enough of that for now. What I would like to focus on now is our skill. And so there's lots and lots that we still need to do with this skill. I have lots of achievements that I want to add. I have lots of functionality that we want to get into. But at its core, my goal for today, some very, very simple APL, is to get the question that we ask the user to show on the screen. That's going to be my solitary goal for today. If we're feeling really advanced, if we have enough time, I also plan on being able to show the answer once they're done answering the question. But I know I'm not good at this, and I know that there will be people in the chat that want to participate and add questions and give me advice because most of you are more knowledgeable about this than I am. I'm just dangerous enough to make some things work. And I wish I could get better at this, but I just haven't dedicated the time. So I know what it does. I know what it's capable of. And in fact, I spent some time this morning perusing this lovely website, APL Ninja. And this is where you can come in and do all sorts of interesting stuff. In fact, as I was looking through their samples, let's see if I can find it. It's still here. Let's see. Top contributors recently updated, recently created. Can I see more? This one. This might look familiar to all of you, but our good friend Gold Zulu created this one. And this is a completely replicated version of my intro video that we just watched. And he did this all, this is custom. He took this, created this in vector graphics and added all of this stuff to it. In fact, like he did some treatment to my face too, because I don't look like this. And this is like a different helmet, different horns. I don't know what he did to give this a treatment, but I have this really like glossy look to my face, which is a little jarring. It looks like me, but it doesn't look like me. He also found my logo someplace, which is awesome. So anyway, he threw this together, but this is all vector graphics. And then he's doing a bunch of stuff with rotation. And if we look at this, you can see that he's got a rotation parameter, and then he's got all of these different graphics. But all of this data here, this is all just vector like color stuff. So if I were to say like FFFFOO, you can see that I just changed this stripe to yellow. So he's got this thing kind of waving through. And if I make it like we'll make it something boring, like 333, you can see that now it's that gray color. So he has actually gone through and custom created my background intro, which is a stock video that I borrowed from something. And he completely custom created it here. So I'm going to have to find a way when we revisit the Jeff Blankenberg skill. I'm going to have to find a way to incorporate this into like the intro screen and stuff. But for now, for today, what I would like to do is focus on building out some APL for my question. And so one of the things that I need to do in my skill is tell it that, hey, by the way, I want to use APL. And all the devices are great. That all sounds wonderful. I'm going to save that interface stuff, and I'm going to build it just to make sure that everything is built and ready to go to be able to handle APL. If we don't turn this APL switch on, then you can't use APL in your skill. It'll actually throw an error when you try to send that stuff out. OpSecMate, I saw you posted this question or comment, and I just want to make sure I'm addressing it. You said your Alexa is broken. She became dumb. Tell me about that. What do you mean she became dumb? How can I help you make Alexa better, smarter, awesomer? Let me know. I'd be happy to answer any questions or maybe give you some guidance or advice or whatever. Also, super cool. We've got a bunch of people on Periscope today. Thank you guys for joining. We have folks on Twitch. We have a couple people on Facebook. So hi, Facebook people. Yeah, we're just going to keep this rolling. So APL is now ready to go. The first step that I'm going to take is to come into tools. And in here we have, no, not tools, multimodal responses. And this is where I come in and I can create new visuals right here in the developer console. So I'm going to create a new visual response. Now, this isn't anything that's saved in my app. What this gives me is the ability to create, and then I take this file that I've generated and I add this to my application, and that's how we will feed more information in later. So a good example of what I'm looking for my question kind of looks like this. This is a pretty good example. I'm going to have maybe a background image. She doesn't know your location. OPSEC, she knows your location, but she says that she doesn't know your location. Interesting. Interesting. Are you sure that you haven't blocked the specific skill from having access to that? The device can know your location, but each individual skill actually has to request permissions to have access to your location. So it's possible that skill, the one that does the high tide information. Let me try that. Alexa, when is high tide?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, high tide varies by location and day.
Cool. That's not at all what I asked for. But individual skills, in order to have access to your location data, need to have some permissions approved. And so I guess I can show you that really quick. Alexa.amazon.com. If you guys haven't been here, this is the app, but in a browser version.
What do you mean by sundown?
Alexa, stop. So if we come into some skills, let's find one that might need these kinds of permissions. Let's see if we have like a tide tracker of some kind, not tide, the tide chart. And so if I say enable, I don't know if it'll ask for permissions here or not. No, it doesn't ask. And then you have to tell it what city you want on this one. But there are some where it'll actually ask for permissions. And I'm trying to see if I can find one for you here. Let's see. Tide Guide seems like a good one. No, this one doesn't have permissions either. But I guess what I'm getting to is I'm not sure exactly what skill you're using, but what you should be able to do if you find a skill here, I can do this another way. Let's just go find a different kind. And Stephen Vore, thank you for jumping in. If you know what skill you're using, that might make it a little easier, but we could dig into that. But let's go to like bank. So if I go to a banking skill, this is always a good example. So I say enable. They're actually going to take me and get me logged in. But then in addition to that, there's settings. And sometimes there will be additional settings that are location, address, phone number, full name. Those are all things that you can grant access to the skill, but you have to give them those permissions. And so if it's telling you that it doesn't know, it probably hasn't been granted those permissions. That would be my guess. So I don't know that, I mean, it does feel, I can totally understand why it feels like Alexa's dumb in that case, but I think it's probably more that you just haven't granted those permissions. And they're there for a reason. They're there to keep us all, keep our data safe and secure. We don't want to just hand out our address and our location information and our phone numbers or even our full names out to anybody that has a skill. So what we do is we hold that stuff back and we say the user can, the developer can prompt you and say, hey, I really need this information. Can you give it to me? And if you look in the Alexa app, there's probably a card they created for you. But you have to grant that permission just once, but you have to grant that permission so that they can have access to that information. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so let's get back to it. We are thinking about right here, changing this interface a little bit to be able to put our answer here. This is something that we really want to be able to do. And so OPSEC mate, she said Mother's Day is in May, which is the American date. Agreed. Are you, I'm just curious, do you have your device set up as, I'm guessing maybe you're UK? Where are you based? My guess is your device thinks it's a United States account, because I think that those answers should be specific to your locale. And so if you're in the UK or something like that who has a different Mother's Day, then it should be aware of the day that you're actually in. Anyway, hopefully that helps. All right, so the things that we're going to do here, you're in Ireland. Yeah, thank you, Stephen Vore. That's a good link to take him to. So I need to replace this with my actual question. And if we look at the text value for this, we have text align. Somewhere in here, there's a size, font size. The default is 40 dp. What if we say 45 dp? That's a little bit bigger, but we don't have that many long questions. So I'd like it to be a little bit bigger. This did you know up here at the top. We have a header title. So if we look in our data, I'm guessing that we're going to find a lot of that stuff here. Title. So this is going to have to be swapped out. We're going to swap out this value for probably the name of the category. And then over here, they have this logo. That's this logo that's right here. We're going to change this out to be the logo of the category that we're in, or maybe just the TKO Trivia logo. I'll have to think about that. Or maybe, you know what? I wasn't sure what I was going to put in the background, but maybe I put in the background the logo of the category. That might be pretty cool. Okay, so we have most of what we need, right? This is kind of the layout that I'm going for. Good morning, Jan Blank. I'm going to hear your sound. I don't know if it's going to do it. I don't know if it's going to do it. Here, are the sounds working at all? If I say... Is that even a command? I don't even know if it's a command. It's not. Let's make it a command. That's a cool thing to do. We'll call it mom. And we'll do this, mom, Candace. What is, somebody knows the answer to this. Phineas and Ferb. Candace is the name of the character. She's in a family with Phineas and Ferb. What is their last name? Alexa, what is Phineas and Ferb's last name?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Ign.com, Phineas Flynn and his stepbrother, Ferb Fletcher, set out to conquer boredom and make every day of their 104-day summer vacation count.
Alexa,
in Disney XD and...
Stop. Okay, so it's got to be Candace Flynn would be her name, because she is Phineas's like whole sister, and Ferb is his half-brother. Half-brother? Stepbrother. Stepbrother. So that's going to be that, and then we need to find our mom sound, which should be in here. There it is. Let's try that again. What if I say it this like this? That's not working. It's not working. Let's stop and restart our chatbot. I don't know why that would be failing, but I want my chatbot to work. That's half the fun, is letting you guys pipe in with some sound effects and mess with the stream as it is. Come on. You can do it. Let's go. Almost there. All right, so I saw that OPSEC mate, you're in Ireland, but do you have your device set to like ENGB, like the UK English, or do you have it set to American English? Because that'll be the deciding factor. The device itself doesn't know where you are. It only knows the locale that you choose. And even if you have a location set in Ireland or whatever, if you have your device set to ENUS, English United States, it's going to give answers based on English United States. So, okay, this is up. Let's see if we get it now. Mom! There. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. All we did was stop and restart the bot. So, okay, we're up and running. Everything is good. Let's get back to it. APL, you're right, Zella. So thank you for getting here. We're working on getting our questions on screen. That's the goal of mine today. And so I have, if I look at this APL, you can see that I have this long APL document that has a bunch of cheese information in it. We're going to be ripping that stuff out because I really like this layout. I think this is nice and simple. You have a meeting in 10 minutes. Well, we're gonna do our best to get through all of this. And then I have a data model here, and this data contains all of the information that I would want for example, my background image. So what I'd like to do is just test some of this. So the first thing I want to do is go over to S3, where my images live, and let's go refer to one of them. So if I look at my S3 buckets, somewhere down here I have like a TKO trivia one, and in here I have art, and I have icons, and we'll just take the Art in a Stage 512 icon, which looks like this. It's transparent. And we're just going to drop that into this as our, we have a size small and a size large. So I'm going to take the large one, and we're just going to make it look like that instead. Oh, cancel. So that didn't take direct effect. But I think that's because this is my data. And if I look at my APL, my background image, Alexa background, container.
Sorry, there is nothing for me to resume.
I know. There we go. Do skills cost money to make? OPSEC mate, that's a great question. No, it doesn't. There are many skills that were created for free and run for free. Let me give you a quick rundown on that. The tools that you need to use, everything that I'm using here on screen, all of this is completely free. So there's no cost to use any tools. And you can use the tools that you want, honestly. I spend a lot of my time in VS Code, which is a free tool from Microsoft. And most of the work that I'm doing is all JavaScript anyway, as you can see here. So I'm using all free tools. So it's the first item in my array. Perfect. We'll jump back to that in a second. So it's going to take the small one, even though I have a large one. That's totally fine. So let's look at data. I saw that it was taking 0. So we'll just take this and replace this one also, and I'll give it the 512 also. There we go. So I have my background image. We're going to want to tweak that because I think that's way too big. But maybe not. Maybe that's not terrible. It's kind of artsy. But then OPSEC, there's some, when you think about running any kind of software, there's always like a server or some computer somewhere that's running your software. And so most people are building their skills and running them on something we call AWS Lambda. And with AWS Lambda, it's serverless, right? So it's this little container that you put some code in, and then you can call it and run it whenever you need it. And it's not running most of the rest of the time. And the nice thing about that is that it costs nothing. It costs almost nothing to run because it's not running all the time like a regular server, hence the serverless. So with that, a normal Alexa skill can handle about 1 million invocations a month on their Lambda before they would incur any costs. So that first 1 million times that people use your skill, that would cost you $0. That's the free tier. It's always true. It doesn't run out with time or anything. The second 1 million. So if you were to double that and go to 2 million invocations in a month, when you cross 1 million invocations in 1 month, call me, text me, tweet me. I will book a flight. I will fly to you, and I will buy you the nicest dinner in your town because that's an amazing accomplishment and you deserve it. But if you were to eclipse that and go to a second 1 million, I think the second 1 million invocations cost something like $5 or $6. So it's very, very affordable, very inexpensive. So if you had wild, crazy success, you're not going to all of a sudden run into a huge bill. The other thing to keep in mind is that we also offer something called Alexa. There he is. Chris, welcome. We have AWS credits for Alexa developers. And so if you publish an Alexa skill, that means getting through certification and all the other stuff, then you can sign up for this program and we will give you $100 every single month as AWS credits. And you don't have to use them all for your Alexa skill. If your Alexa skill is only costing you $0.05 a month, then you have $99.95 that you could spend on other AWS services. I've used that money to build all sorts of cool computer vision applications and hosting websites and doing lots of other stuff with that $100, and that's totally fine. But we give you $100 to make sure that you are not incurring any costs at all for building an Alexa skill. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so I have this background image, but that's not actually really what I want. I need to be able to do a background image and a foreground image and the text on top. And so we need to think about what this APL looks like. We have our Alexa background. I think we can probably just do something like this. Yeah, the developer perks are really nice. It makes a big difference, and it allows you to experiment. Hey, Gold Zulu, welcome. So what if I do something like this? This is where I start to just like experiment. Can I say that? There's another image down here somewhere, right? I have my Alexa background. I have this container. This container contains some titles and a logo URL, header attribution image. That's not great. What I want to do is just slap the image needs a source property. Okay, like this. And then let's go back to my S3 bucket and get I have a background for this. So my background somewhere, I think I called it Starburst or something like that. No. Oh, it's because I'm in the icons. It's this. Is this my background? Yeah. Okay. So we'll take that and we'll jump in here. Zella, you are a wizard, and I'm so thankful that you're here. And so we have this property called background image in our data, but this is going to be hard coded. This is always true. So this is always true. The Alexa background is actually this. There's my starburst. Now my image has shrunk. This is where things start to fall apart for me. because what I really wanted was I still want this image, which I can't believe is working at all. Height and width must be defined. The default value is set to 100. Okay, let's do it. Let's set some height and width to 100 VH. Now I have to put it in quotes, okay? And width VW. Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. Okay, so it's not big enough though. Can we do like 150? Well, that's not really what I wanted either.
Your wish is my command.
Cobra, welcome. That's not really what I wanted. Maybe 100 is plenty, because then I have to do a bunch of offset centering and stuff, and I kind of like that it's just centered there. Yeah, it is. But the other thing I want to do is kind of like dim it out. That's really bright. Is there like is there an opacity? Can I do opacity like 5 or 50%? Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I love when I can just guess things. Now it's yelling at me. Should not have background blur. Okay, cool. I'll get rid of that. What else should I not have? Should not have color overlay. Cool. On. Should not have background scale. Okay. This is looking cool. So let's change this to something else just to see how another one looks. Let's go to our data and let's look at, we have art and stage. Let's do like sports and games. Nice. Gosh, look at that. Just pretty. Our background fits in there nicely. Everything's looking good. What does it look on the spot? Still fine. Still fine. Still fine. Still fine. Still fine. Okay, so let's get back to this view. I like this one. What about that one? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, it's coming together. We have our image. I'm not even sure that I need that other small one, or I guess the large one, but this is what I want. What we need to do now is think about where did our data go? Where did the oh, you want a number? I mean, it worked, but I'll do 0.5 if that's what you want. Cool. Should be number. Oh, because you don't want quotes. I got it. Cool with that one? All right, cool. I will scream and yell at this until we get it. So I think that looks good. It's nice and subtle, kind of in the background. That's what I want. I like that starburst there. All right, so where's my text? Where did all the text go? Didn't I have text earlier that was showing up? Where did it go? Help me. We have Alexa background. We have an image, and then we have our container. Here, I know exactly what happened. I need to take this, and there's my text. And then inside my container, I have items. And I'm guessing that if I do this, everything disappears again. Yep. So, okay, Gold Zulu's lurking. I have to figure out how I put a second image in the background. Can I have 2 Alexa background properties? Because that would also be okay. Can I do that? Like stack them on top of each other? Does not appear yes. Well. You make a Lambda to start up an auto-scaling group to then start 10 servers as a fleet? Yeah. Yeah, as long as you have programmatic access to those servers and you can kick them off, totally. Serverless is awesome for that. So it's not going to let me have multiple Alexa backgrounds. Let's back up here a little bit. We have our image. This is where the layout stuff really gets hard for me, because I have my Alexa header and I have this scroll view that I don't even really need. I just need the text. But I want to put another image in the background. And I don't know how to do that. Gold Zulu, do you have any guidance, advice on this? Because what's happening here when I put this image here is that the rest of the content is actually being pushed down below. And that's not what I want. I want it to like sit behind it. Can a container have a background image? Probably. Everything seems to be able to do everything. Let's take this here just for a second. I do a background inside my container. And then take the source. And then get rid of this. All right. Let's change this to best fit. Look at that. Guys, I'm starting to figure this stuff out. I'm really, really good at this. Okay, I'm not really good at this, but okay, I need to do one thing here. We're gonna do. Actually, I apologize. I'll be right back. We just have to stop with one thing here. So we're just going to give you a little music just for a second. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I had to step away for just a second, but we are good to go. I have my Alexa background inside my container, which is now best fit, which gives me that nice background. And I think that this background blur or the color overlay is the thing that is making it kind of dimmed out in the back. So this is very incredibly readable. And it doesn't matter which one of my graphics, they're all just that kind of reddish color. So it doesn't matter that those are in the background because this is still a very readable screen. So because of that, we should be able to then get our question loaded in here. So the data for, let's just take one of our questions. That one looks good. See, this is what I mean. Like the questions are much shorter than what they're giving me as an example there. So I wonder if we could take, that's the data. Let's go to the APL and look at where this text comes in. And we're going to make it, I don't know, 60, 75. This is kind of a short one. So I probably should find a longer question. I know what my longest question is. What about the armadillo? I'm not going to be changing this on the fly. I kind of want one static size for everything. So this one is going to be the decider. Let's go back to our data and look at this. Yeah, see, this is gross. And this is where I'm going to also have to do some formatting, which is fine. I don't mind doing some formatting, but we want to make sure that it'll still fit. And this is too big. So we'll go back to our APL and we'll change this back to like 60. Still a little big. The default is 40. I think that's probably good. 50, 55. Can I do 55? Yeah, let's do 55. But 60 was too big. Feels like it would fit too. Yeah, 60 is too big. All right, 55 is going to be our size. How does that look on other ones? It's still like the Echo Show. I guess I could change this size depending on the screen. But this is the Echo Show 5, and that's too big. So we're going to have to modify that based on the size of the screen, which is okay. We'll just focus on this for now. We just want to get it working. That's the secret for us today. So we have our APL document that looks like this, and we the background image source, we're pointing out to our background. That's going to always be true. And then we're pointing to the data for our background image. For our logo URL, we're going to change those things out. For the title, the header title, that's this did you know? And then for our actual question, this is the primary text. So we need to create a new APL document in our application. So let's create a new folder somewhere, probably in here. I think this is probably good. We'll do this. No, not a new file. Stop that. We're going to do a new folder called APL. And inside this folder, we're going to have a new file that's going to be called question. That question.json file, this is the APL document for what we just created here. So we're looking at our APL, and if we take this whole thing, then what we should be able to do, and we can continue to modify this. There's a lot that I need to learn, but I think this is enough to get it working, is we have our APL document, and then we also need a oh, look at you, Oxygen Box. Let's see if that gets us anything. That's too much. Seven. Oh my goodness, look at you. Still broken there, but that's a broken format. Look at these. Look at these. Thank you, Oxygen Box. Good save. Let's put that in the document that I just moved. 7VH. The less versioning I have to do for different screens, the better. Okay, so we have our APL doc, but this isn't our data. So I'm going to create another document that is question data.json. I don't know that this is the right way. This is just what feels like right to me. So if you guys have guidance or advice on like how you handle this, let me know. I'm going to take that and I'm going to drop it into another document, question data. It's going to look like this. So the key to this for me is that we need to be able to load this APL document, tell it that it's, well, load this APL document, tell it what its data should be, and the data should be this. And then we need to replace a couple of the values that are in here, like the background image that we're using for, I don't even think I'm going to need this, but I'll leave it for now. But change out what the URL path is for this, right? And so we have the name of our category. We'll use that to create this. We have our question and our title, all of that stuff. This will be the name of the category as well. This will be the question. The logo URL, this is going to be our small version of our logo for the category, so it'll be something similar. And then I don't know what the cheese speech SSML is. We'll have to figure out what that is or how it works. It looks like I can include SSML now in my APL. So haven't played with that, but we'll figure it out. So in fact, I probably don't need any of this because I'm not using any SSML inside my APL. Maybe I will be. Who knows? We'll figure it out. So let's get this working. So let's come into ask question. Is this where all this gets assembled? This is where I do my dynamic entities. This is where I return the entire question. So this is where the APL needs to happen. So to do that is syntax that I don't remember, but I've done before. Let's see if we can go find a file that would do this for me. Where have I done some APL, and do I have it here? I don't have it here. So let's go look in my GitHub because I'm positive that I've written this code before. GitHub. Actually, I thought I had this open earlier. All right, so let's go look at my repositories. 103 repositories. What is something that I would have built that would have had some APL that would have been Star Wars Databank has APL. I don't care what the APL is. What I want to do is primary image. No, I don't want this. I want the part where I show the thing. That's going to be Lambda. Did I do it all in here? Index. All right, this is what I'm looking for. So I need this if. I have a function I need to write called supports APL. And then I need to create this directory, or this directive, sorry. Prisoner 4044. Your data does not have to be a document. In fact, you'll see right here, I have my document. This is how I'm going to refer to. So I bring in APL right here. This is going to be my APL document. And then what I tend to do, because I only need this data object for this specific APL, is that I then also bring in my data file. And in that data file, I will just load that thing up and replace a couple of values. Rather than trying to reconstruct the entire data object with all of the things, I like to just store it off as a JSON file and bring it in and use it as necessary because I have the structure and everything that I need. It also is very tempting because of that dynamic nature to just replace the values directly inside the APL doc, which is what I did here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and be responsible. But I just want to let you guys know that that's generally how I see this. So let's take this. That's the part that we need, partially. And we're just going to slap it like right here. I'm just going to drop this in and comment it out. Boom. So I have what I need here. And then if we come back to my browser, there's the part down here at the end where I guess I'm doing the add directive right here, so I don't really need to worry about it down at the bottom. But I think I'm going to structure this a little different. I'll create the directive, and then I'll add it down here at the bottom. I think that's the right way to go. Okay, so I have everything I need. So in this code here, this is our ask question function. So we're figuring out what question number it is, if it's a quiz. We're making sure, like, this is all quiz-related stuff. Then down here, we're actually going and getting all of the data that we need for our questions. So this is what builds our question text. This is what saves some data to the database. This is what gets some random speech for our answer prompt, which is like, what's your answer, right? We have to have some kind of random thing like that. So those pieces are all pulled in. Then we set a bunch of session attribute data so that we remember what question we asked them when they answer it. It's all just a little bit of fun. Then we're also updating our dynamic entities. in this file, we want to be able to tell the skill, hey, we have a slot. It's called answer. Here's the one value I want you to have, the right answer. And that way, if the user matches that value, I know they got it right. And if they didn't match that value, then I treat it as if they got it wrong. Hopefully, they actually got it wrong. So that's what this answer directive is here. And then you can see that we have this add directive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another one. And this is going to be APL directive, something like that. All right, so in here, we need to start with an if statement, which is if the device that they're using supports APL, because we don't want to do this if they don't. And so I should go look at my code and see where that function is and how I was thinking about that working. Get spoken words, resolved words, supports APL. All right, so this, we're going to take that function. We're going to move it to a different place in here. We have a helper. We're going to create a new file in here. This is going to be supports APL. And it's just going to look like that. Very simple. Where's my closey brace? I guess I forgot that. All right, so this just checks to see, do they support APL? If they do, then we return true. Otherwise, we return false. Very, very simple, but we're doing this in a safe way to make sure that we're not breaking anything. That's good. Supports APL also needs to be referred to in, first we need to export it, module.exports. So we can close that file. And then in this, in here, supports APL now exists. So now we just need a include require and like that. Okay, so supports APL is now a thing. So now I should be able to say helper dot supports APL, which I see right here. Okay, so when we just pass in handler input, that's right. That's what it was expecting, right? Supports APL is taking handler input. Perfect. Oh, totally, Oxygen Box. I wrote that function a while back, so I knew that I needed to include it. I just missed that you said that. But yes, I have now included it in my helper stuff, and we should be good to go. So that gets us to a safe time to actually provide our APL. The next step is we want to load our APL document. So let's do that next. And this is going to be our APL document. It's in the folder APL, and this is going to be called question.json. So this is what goes and gets my APL document, the thing that we just created, which is the framework for how everything should look. It's not the data. We're going to have another one, var APL data, and this is going to be my data file. So we're going to say APL, and actually these references are wrong. I need to do like like that. This is going to be question data.json. I have my two files. Then we're going to have some stuff. This is where, like these two lines that I have here, these two lines are meant to manipulate that data and change just the values that I really care about instead of creating the entire object from scratch. So we'll do that in a moment. And I have this RB. I'm not doing it this way though. What we're going to do instead is create a new thing called, what did we call it? APL directive. APL directive. We're just going to create the object, and then we'll worry about adding the directive down at the bottom. So this object has a type that looks like that, and we have a token, and this is just a thing. I'm not using it for anything right now. Version. Well, we should probably update our version number. I think we're on 1.5, 1.6. I'll have to check that. Then I have my document. Let's take that. And then so this is just going to be APL. And data sources is going to be APL data. like that. And then all of this. How do I want to do that? I kind of want to do the standard card thing. Get rid of all of this. And that. So that's our nice clean version with no changes made. But what we want to do is if they don't support APL, then we kind of want to do this other thing, which is I could just do handler input.response builder with standard card. And then we're going to have to get these values, which is the name, the card description, and the image URL. So that's something else that we need to get. We need, why am I doing var, by the way? These should be, well, they have to be, I'm going to, well, this one can be constant, but the other one's going to have to be a let because I'm going to modify it. And then, whoa, I keep doing that. Moving between a Mac and a PC, I cannot get the keystrokes straight in my head. Okay, so then we're going to have an image, const image URL. Seems like a good name. And this is going to be that standard path that we've been using, like this. So that's what the image to our image URL is going to look. Path to our image URL is going to look like. But what we want to do is we're going to need to manipulate this. We have some work to do because I don't actually know how I'm going to do that yet, but we'll do it. So that's going to be our image URL. Now up here I have question. Question has a category name. So if I look at build question, just as a reference, build question is here. I am pulling category name as it's just question.fields.category. So let's just take this whole thing because we're going to need this. We're going to need both of those. So let's come into ask question and we'll get our category name. And then we will get our category name dot replace. Actually, let's just do this. Dot replace. This is already doing all of the work that we need to do to change that name into something that has underscores and no spaces. So I can just take this like that. And that gives me my gross category name that goes here. Category name. All right, so now I have my image URL. That's the path to the image on my S3 bucket that I will use for each category. That's going to be that big background image that gives you some visual about that. And image URL down here for the card will take both of those. So that's great. We have card description. This needs to change. This needs to be the question itself. And the question itself, the question text is question.fields.voice question. Except that's not right. We're going to be changing some things here in a minute. So question.fields.voice question, and we're actually going to make this because we're going to have to make this change to our data anyway. I'm going to leave it at card question. And then this name here, this has to be question. No, this is just the category name, which I've ruined. It's actually this. Copy question.fields.category name. So that's for my card. That's not the important piece. I hope that I never have to write a card. I hope everybody has the right information here. So what we want to do now is say APL data. If we look at our APL data file, inside here we have long text template data. Then we have properties. So we've got to take all of these nodes. Did I just change something? Copy, please. We're going to say APL data dot long text template data dot properties dot background image dot sources. This is array 0 dot URL. URL, and that is going to equal my image URL. Okay, so this is me modifying my APL data object. I'm using category name and category underscore name. You're totally right. Good catch. Thank you. I don't think I have it anywhere else. Thank you, Oxygen Box. Good save. Okay, so this line here will modify the image URL that I have in my data. There's two other pieces that I need to modify in this data. The next one is the title. So instead of background image, we're just going to do title. So I'll take all of this, but instead of background image, we're going to do title. So it'll look like that. Title, and this is going to be fields, that category. I should change this. This is already making me mad. Const category name equals that. That's what it should equal. And then this is going to be category path or something. And this is going to be category name. And that gives me my category path. That's going to do this. This then becomes category name. And then down here, this can become category name also. Okay. I think we're good. So that sets our title. Let's see what's next. The next piece is text content. So we need text content. Well, let's do this first. Take this. And this is going to be gone. Text content dot primary text dot text. This is going to be my question. So question.fields.card question. Let's do this too. Const question text. Realizing that I'm not creating the right scope for this, so we'll have to fix that here in a second. Also, that's going to go like that, but the scope of this needs to be like up here. So does the category name. The reason for that is because down here, they wouldn't have access to that otherwise. Question text. Cool. So now those values have been set properly. This needs to become question text, except I'm lying because that's not true. This is going to be card text. We can just do that. I'd rather not do stuff out here anyway, so we can do this. Question card text equals the card question, which would be question card text. And that means here I can do this again, and this is going to be question screen. What would I call it? Screen text? Screen question? Probably. Okay. This here becomes this. No. Question screen text goes there. These properties don't exist yet, so we're also going to have to fix that. But this is okay for now. And then was there anything else in here in my data that I needed to change? The logo URL. I think I can probably hard code this. Let's come back to our APL interface. I think this can be a hard coded value. If we go look at my S3 bucket, I think I just have like a logo. TKO logo. Is this it? Yeah. So I think we can just use this. We come into this and we'll just hard code this value. See if it likes that. I definitely don't need a cheese icon. Yeah, see how I just get a nice little TKO logo there? So that's the logo that I would like there. So we'll just do that in our actual code. So let's go look at question. No, not question. Question data. And down here, logo URL. Hard coded like that. Okay. So I don't know what this is. I mean, I get what it is. I just don't think this is what I actually want to use. I'm just going to take this out. I don't think I need any of this transformer stuff either. Let's see what it thinks of that. It's not entirely broken. Okay. Let's see if that's okay. Should be fine. Should be fine. These values should get overwritten, so it's fine. If we look at ask question, we're now updating all of our values. This can go away. And what is the most recent version of APL? APL 1.5, that's what I was thinking. Cool. Okay. So 1.5 is my version. I don't know that it needs to be 1.5. What I'm doing is really very simple. We create our APL directive. Here's another issue. We're not going to be able to do this down here because we don't know if we have one. We can't just add it by default. We have to do it only when we have it. So we're going to do handler input dot response builder dot add directive. We'll add our APL directive right here. So this was a lot, but I feel like this should work now. Prisoner 4044. This data has no specific structure schema beyond what we want to use it for. So the template just references this data, but we can make it as flat or nested as makes sense for us. Yes, 100%. This data structure that I have here, this is more or less custom data. I'm working from a template that was already created, but you should be able to just refer to any structure that you want, any data structure, as long as in here you're referring to those things as payload dot whatever gets you to that thing. So that is that's how you handle that. That should be no problem. So the real question is for all of you, what is the likelihood? I'm taking bets. What is the likelihood that as I run this, it's going to work on the first go? What do you think? That was a lot. Fire up my code. It's running, I think. Debug console right there. Perfect. Let's go. Let's go see. If you guys want to place your bets at a scale from 0 to 100%, I'd be very interested to see what you guys think. So let's say help and make sure our skill is working. And it's probably not because the skill hasn't been started. Open Jeff's trivia game. How about that? Anything? Anyone? Let's restart you entirely. I don't even think we're hitting the skill. We're not. Let's restart this just to make sure everything's working properly. Everything there is good. Here we're going to say open Jeff's trivia game.
This is TKO Trivia. What should we do next? You can say give me a random question or start today's game.
Okay, give me a science question. Wah wah.
It appears you haven't unlocked the science category yet. Would you like to purchase it?
Well, let's buy that category.
This will unlock all of the science questions. Please say your 4-digit code to confirm the purchase.
Okay, doing it. Now we should get wah wah.
Great. Your order is complete and I've emailed you a receipt.
Boom.
It appears our trivia questions are better than our programmers. Something just broke. I'm so sorry about that. You could start a quiz or ask for a question. What should I do?
Image URL is not defined. I think. Oh, see, this is another one where category path. And image URL. Be outside here. because we're somehow doing this. That also doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like APL should be supported, but let's dig in. Let's see what could have gone wrong there. Zella, welcome back. Give me a science question. This should, again, we're probably going to get an error, but we should at least be able to get a better feel for what's wrong. Come on.
I picked a tricky science question this time. In the spectrum of visible light, which color has the longest wavelength?
Okay, it didn't do it. And we can see here that it's writing the card instead of the APL. So we need to figure out first why our detection function isn't working. And if we look at this,
okay, what is your answer?
We can see that supported interfaces is not providing APL. Why would that be? I turned it on, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Come all the way back here to interfaces. It is on. APL's on. And I saved it, and I built it. I did all that stuff before. What other reason would I be not getting the APL response? I mean, I'm just not getting it. It's not even there. Have I tried turning it off and on again? Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Hopefully that solves our problem. If we look at this view right here, we're training our model again. APL is very clearly on. I don't think there's anything else I need to turn on. What device am I simulating? Great question. In here, I have, this is the medium hub, but I can choose which one I want to see. Medium hub is kind of like the original Echo, the one I have way back here. If you can look back there, that one way back there in the back. This is the Echo Show 5. This is the Echo Show 8. I can't wait. February 25th, I will have one of the new Echo Show 10s with the moving screen. Very excited to try stuff on that. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I'm not getting any. It doesn't even matter about the thing I'm trying to simulate though, because it's not even showing me my supported interfaces. Oxygen box, yeah, I did. Right here, it's on. I don't think there's anything else I need to do, right? Like this is it. Turn on APL here in your interfaces, and you're off and running. I did. I just saved and built. Thank you, Gold Zulu. All great. Disable and enable the device display option. You're talking about down here? Oh, device. Let's see. You mean over here? The device display option. I want to make sure I understand. Oh, Zelly, you got an Echo Show 10 already? Lucky. You guys can't see my screen. This is APL. It is on. I just went through and saved and built, so I'm confident that that is all there. Zella said disable. I know Oxygen Box. I just realized that. I apologize. Save and build. What else can I do here? It's on. It's on for all devices. Let's try it again. Give me a science question.
This is a fun science question for you. What does a person with hexadactylism have?
The problem that I'm running into is that it's not here. Like I'm trying to detect that the device supports this, and I'm not getting that feedback from the simulator. And I don't know why.
Okay, what is your answer?
Give me a science question.
From the science category.
Okay, we'll kill my...
What chemical element has just one proton and one electron?
Kill my session. Open my game.
Welcome to TKO Trivia.
Give me a science question.
Here's one from the science category.
Still not there.
Within 1, how many noble gases are there on the periodic table of elements?
Very weird, but we should be able to see. Here. That's weird. It's asking the question, but it's not putting the
Okay.
text in there.
What is your answer?
Oh, because I don't have that created yet. Okay, that's fine. Can you get Alexa to hold context? Very much. These are great questions, OPSEC. So in my skill, you can see that I have all of this stuff in attributes. This is all metadata that I've stored about the user's context. So I know who they are, how many sessions they've had. This is all coming out of my database. Their number of achievements they've had. This is all stuff that comes out of a table that looks like this. So this is my database. This is where I store everything. But I'm able to save context within a session without a database entirely. And if I want to keep it going across sessions, then I have to persist it to a database like I'm doing here. So yes, let's think. I'm running out of time here, gang. What is it? What else can I do to get it to tell me that APL is working? Because we're not getting that right now. If I look at the interfaces, it's empty. Turn on and off testing. I like that you guys are all, you have a lot of faith that it's not me. Oh yeah, so OPSEC, once you're in a skill, you're in the skill. And unless you let Alexa close the microphone and go away, you continue to have those conversations. So it'll continue going. I can actually demonstrate this on an actual device. Alexa, open Jeff's trivia game.
Welcome to TKO Trivia, the trivia game show where you answer difficult questions and win nothing. Each day, you can play a new 10-question
Alexa,
challenge, but
give me a science question.
from the science category. In addition to solid, liquid, and gas, what is the fourth fundamental state of matter?
Alexa, plasma.
Oh, snap! You got that one right. The answer to that question was plasma. 2 achievements unlocked. You completed your first question. You answered your first question correctly. What should we do next? You can say, give me a random question, or start today's game.
Give me a random question.
This is a fun design question for you. What color are the G's in Google's logo?
What color are the G's in Google's logo? Blue? Could be blue.
Okay, what is your answer?
Blue.
Huzzah! You got that one right. The answer was blue. You can say something like, give me a science question, or you can start today's game. What will it be?
Stop.
Gotta get going. I get it.
Okay, so that's a quick illustration, OPSEC, of how I can have a whole conversation back and forth with Alexa, play games, do all that kind of stuff. Hopefully that answers your question. So I've turned on and off my testing. We're going to restart my session again. I don't know what else I can do. There's clearly something I'm doing wrong. I just don't know what it is. So start my game.
TKO Trivia, where the questions are impossible and the achievements are meaningless.
Still nothing.
You just completed an achievement. Welcome back.
What could I possibly be doing wrong here?
Play TKO trivia. What would you like to do now?
You don't also have to have display interface turned on, do you? Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I don't feel like I should need to do that, but I will. OPSEC, tell me what you mean by better on the context part. I'd love to understand what you mean. Yeah, I wouldn't think that you need this. This is for like when you want to use display templates and stuff, which I could also use. Yeah, I just feel like I'm personally, I figured it out, everybody. I've solved the problem. I'm in the wrong skill. I'm in the wrong skill. You can't update a different skill and expect that skill to, oh God, I'm so dumb. Here we go. APL. On, yes. Goodness. That's on me. I can't believe I just did that. How long have we been staring at this? 10 minutes? Oh, and I got to go soon. So hopefully now our skill's just going to work.
All right. Your wish is my command.
Cobra, that didn't seem to work. I don't know why it didn't work. Try again. As soon as this is done training, we'll give this another run. But that was almost certainly the issue. When it seems too weird, it's got to be something simple. All right. Okay, here we go.
This is TKO trivia. If you thought Jeopardy was challenging, you're in for a treat. What should we do this time?
Give me a science question with some beautiful APL.
Here's one from the science category.
Oh, look at that!
What is the most malleable of all metals, such that a single gram can be beaten into a sheet of 1 square meter?
Okay, so our APL is showing up. We have our category name. We do not have our question, but there's a reason for that. So now we're going to take voice question, our column right here, and we're going to duplicate this field. Duplicate the cells too. We're going to duplicate it.
Okay, what is your answer?
And we're going to call this card question. And we're going to duplicate that. And we're going to say screen question. Like so. Now, just by creating those new columns, I want to make sure that those are the names I actually gave them. Screen question and card question. Now our questions should actually show up because we have the data in there. Now, there's a reason that I'm making these multiple columns. If you want to do any kind of formatting on the speech that you have in your skill, for example, the voice question part, I want to be able to put SSML in there. I want to be able to tweak the speech. I don't want that tweaking, that SSML, to show up on the screen or anything like that. And I don't want to write a function that's going to hopefully rip all that SSML out. So what I do is I keep 3 versions of my speech. And for each individual question, they might be identical or they might have some variation. Cards, for example, if I want to put a line break, I have to use the \n. But if I want a line break in a screen question, I actually use the HTML BR tag. And so I maintain 3 versions of each question because this is the only way that I found to effectively take the same content, the speech that I want to say and what I want to put on the screen, and manage them in a way that makes sense. I'd love to be able to talk to Zella or Gold Zulu or somebody. If you guys have solved this problem, I would love to not have 3 columns, but I feel like getting the SSML done properly, and then also having it formatted, like having commas in the right places, using ampersands instead of the word and. I also like to do that at times. SSML does not like the ampersand. So there's little nuances like that I find it's just, I have more control, even if it requires a little more work. I have more control breaking these into 3 columns. So let's go look at a science question, and you're going to see me party here if this works. Give me a science question. Come on, science question.
I picked a tricky science question this time.
Unbelievable. It worked.
What essential household item is made of water, lye, and animal fat?
Alexa, open Jeff's trivia game.
TKO Trivia, where the questions are impossible and the achievements are meaningless.
Wild Genie,
What
thank
would
you for the
like to do
follow.
now?
I'm not bringing the party to you.
Alexa, give me a
Okay.
science question.
What is your answer? This is a fun science question for you.
Can you see it? Can you see it?
What is the most
It's right
malleable
there.
of all metals, such that a single gram can be beaten into a sheet of 1 square meter?
It's on the screen. It's working. Alexa, stop. You guys, this is unbelievable. Wild Genie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the show. We're working on an Alexa trivia game, and one of the things that I'm not good at is putting visuals into my skills, and we just did it. We are now giving this really kind of cool interface where we have the category graphic behind. We have this little starburst image sitting behind that. We have our logo. We have the name of the category that we're in, and we have our question on the screen. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Let's say soap. Everything is awesome. I'm not going to dance. You guys, that's where clips happen. That stuff ends up on Twitter. We don't need any of that.
Correct. The answer to that question was soap. What should we do next? You can say, give me a random question, or start today's game.
Why do you think I got it wrong? No, I actually, I'm fine with you guys clipping. I'm totally content making a fool of myself online. But it marked that question as wrong. Why? Give me a science question. Let's make sure that we didn't break something.
Here's one from the science category. In the spectrum of visible light, which color has the longest wavelength?
Okay, the answer to this question should be down here somewhere, red. So if I say red, you should say right. Correct.
Way to go! You got that one right.
Why did it think soap
Red
was wrong?
the correct answer. You can say something like, give me a science question, or you can start today's game. What will it be?
I don't understand why I thought that was wrong. I want to go back to that question. What question is that? The soap question is question 331. So I think I built this. I think we can do this. Give me question 331.
It looks like I don't have a specific category for question 331. For a full list
What
of
does that
categories,
intent look like?
Just say, give me the list of categories.
Specific
what would
question
you like to
intent.
do now? You can start today's game.
Give me number
or ask
331.
for a trivia
Okay.
question.
Give me number 300. I think I can just do this. 331.
What essential household item is made of water, lye, and animal fat?
But that just lets me hear the question. That doesn't actually ask it the normal way. Poop. Okay. You start the skill on the device, then in the session was a different question than in the simulator or not. Maybe, I don't know. I'm really confused by why I thought that one was wrong, but I forgot that this intent is not doing the right thing. So in here I have a get specific, get in my handlers, get specific. This is specific question intent. This is doing something broken. So I want to get a specific question, and then I want to do none of this. What I want to do instead is what we do in the question intent, which is once I have my question, I just want to do this. Specific question intent should just look like that. Now I'm asking the question in a way that will actually work. So let's try that again and see if we can. So give me number 331. This is an intent that will disappear.
Here's one from the science category. What essential household item is made of water, lye, and animal fat?
Soap.
Righto. You got that one right.
That's weird.
Soap was the correct answer. What should we do next?
Okay, well, I've got to wrap some things up here, but we did what I set out to accomplish today, which was to get my question visual on the screen. What we'll work on tomorrow is we'll focus on the answer stuff, because I have a bunch of cool data for my answers. We have not only the voice answer, in many cases we have what we call a voice answer note, which is like additional information or help that gives you more information about why the answer is right. I don't have this for everything, but I plan on trying to fill these in as much as I can. And so for these voice answer notes, I also have, well, for all of them, I also have an image. So for example, this is a question about an Eminem song lyric. It's finished this song lyric. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. And then the question is, what are the next words in the song? And it's mom's spaghetti. So for that, when I give you the answer, I'm also going to show you like the album cover for that. Like that'll be what's on the screen. So we'll be able to do that stuff tomorrow. And this should be much easier now that we have a lot of our infrastructure in place. But that is a cool little hack that I've added. So 292, if I just want, let's do that Eminem question, which was mom's spaghetti, 286. So if I say, give me number 286.
I picked a tricky music question this time. Finish the song lyric. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already.
So this is awesome that I personally can come in and test a specific question without having to like hope for randomization. But when I publish this skill, I'll rip this intent out because I don't want people to use this. I don't want them to be able to just dive in and answer the same question over and over.
What is your answer?
So we'll say mom's spaghetti.
Booyah! You got that one right. The answer to that question was mom's spaghetti.
Darn right it was.
This is from the opening lines of Lose Yourself by Eminem. What would you like to do now? You can start today's game or ask for a trivia question.
Well, what I want to do now is I want to start a raid. And I noticed that the AWS channel is actually broadcasting right now. So we're going to go pop in on them and see what they're talking about lambdas, it looks like. So I'd love for you guys to dive in, say hey, let them know you're there. I've never rated the AWS channel before, so this will be kind of fun. I'm interested to see what they do. Let's get this all loaded up. What's it like? All right, yeah, they're doing some stuff. So I'm gonna come over here to Twitch, and I'm gonna say thank you guys all for watching today. This was super fun. I learned a little bit. And we have a good framework for being able to add APL to the rest of our app in every place that we go. Everything will have some visuals when it makes sense. So that's me signing off. Make sure you make a bunch of noise over at the AWS channel, and I will see you guys and Alexa and friends in a half an hour. Later.